even if there is any merit whatsoever to this idea that State Attorney Monique Worrell of Osceola County, Florida,
guys, this actually happened,
for whatever reason, was not properly prosecuting criminals. Let me assure you, there is probably a rap sheet that is out there, but there are two reasons that I believe, and I obviously would love to hear your thoughts on this, but there are two reasons why I do believe that she got the boot from the state attorney's office in Orlando. And keep in mind,
I can tell you just from looking at the picture why
I'm not going there. Okay. But what I will say is that there's two things. Keep in mind, she is a new state attorney. So she has no track record whatsoever, and she is overseeing what is one of the fastest growing cities in the entire country. Orlando, Florida is it's not going to overtake Miami, but it is hands down the second most populous city in the third most populous state in the country. If you have any idea what it's like to work in the state attorney's office and how many cases are constantly being thrown your way, there's a reason why she has dismissed a significant number of cases. It's because most of them do not merit taking to court. This idea that she's allowing rapists and murderers and people who really deserve to be in prison, just kicking them out,
that's not how this works.
I guarantee you that overwhelmingly what she has dismissed is nonviolent drug offenders. That's probably the number one thing.
They have called her out on a bunch of different things. Like this person was brought back in, had a previous charge. She didn't hold him. He killed somebody. And there are cases like that. Those things happen. Those things happen. But the fact that this is what they harp on when it is not the majority of things is just this, it's just fear mongering. And the reality is, people, this is the nature of our system is supposed to be that we would rather 100 guilty people go free than one innocent person go to jail. And I stand by that. I agree with that. And when you have policy that is according to that, yes, there are times when people who do harm to people fall through the cracks. That does happen. It also happens that people who don't do things spend time in prison. That happens too. And it's just, that's the nature of living in a free world. There are going to be outliers. But what I do know is that and I've never met this woman, I don't know anything about her, but I would bet that she has been busting ass doing the best she can within the law that she has to work with, within the resources that she has. So the same people that are probably criticizing her for not doing this or that or the other are the same people that weren't giving her the budget to hire enough people to do what she needs to do. So be aware that the same hand that is getting rid of her is the same hand that's controlling her budget. So I don't know what that is, okay? So you could sit there and point out every bad case. I don't know enough about it to comment. But what I do see is a Black woman. That's what I see right there. And I will not, I refuse to find that there is no correlation in our situation in this state right now.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis on Wednesday announced the suspension of the Orlando area state attorney, the second time he has removed a democratically elected prosecutor whose politics did not align with his conservative views. He was removing Monique Worrell on Florida's 9th Judicial Circuit for neglect of duty and incompetence. It accused her of pursuing lenient sentences and declining to prosecute certain charges. All right, so without even going further, here's what you need to understand here. There is a major housing crisis in the state of Florida. There is a major insurance crisis in the state of Florida. And this is
environmental,
Sure. And this is a lady who has made it very clear that she is in favor of rent control. Do you know who isn't in favor of rent control? The National Association of Realtors, real estate developers, anybody who...
Your people.
Listen, don't look at me. I know that it's a crisis, and I'm very well aware, and I agree that we have a serious problem here.
So is that what you think it is somewhat linked to, that she was a proponent of
that?
It's probably a bunch of things.
In Orlando, she's pushing for rent control in Orlando. Oh no, they went to DeSantis like get that freaking woman out of there.
Yeah, and I bet they didn't say it quite that way. But my problem is this, and we talked about this forever ago with Scott Israel when this happened with Scott Israel. The fact that this is the second state attorney, but people, it is by no means just the second person. This seems to be a pattern. This is authoritarian. What is happening is you have somebody who is in an executive branch removing unilaterally without due process, a democratically elected person in a position that they were elected to, whether it was judicial, legislative, or executive, right? We're talking about people that were elected positions. Our state attorneys are elected. So that is, to me, the biggest glaringest problem here, is that even if you have those issues with her, and I said this about with Scott Israel, whatever your issues are, then you need to have due process for that person before you remove somebody who is democratically elected by the majority of people in their district.
Worrell, who said she was informed of her suspension Wednesday morning by phone, vowed to fight back against her removal, calling it a political hit job orchestrated to benefit the Republicans' presidential campaign. I am a duly elected state attorney for the 9th Judicial Circuit. Worrell said at a news conference outside the Orange County Courthouse in Orlando, and nothing done by a weak dictator can change that. That is a dictatorial approach that he has utilized, and he believes that that is what is going to get him elected, however asinine that may seem, but that is the card that he is playing. The problem, of course, is that he is losing, and the most recent poll that came out, I think it may have been Gallup, is that, as I predicted just a few weeks ago, Vivek Ramaswamy is now in second place and is ahead of Ron DeSantis in the presidential polls.
Yeah, that I saw coming too with him, because But, guys, the whole concept of removing an elected person in that way without process, that is definitively fascist. Like that, we're there. We're there. We have an executive officer that is taking out elected people without process. Like,
now,
that's the dark side. Yes. We're on the dark side.
And luckily, for now, he is the only superior elected official in this that is doing this. The problem, of course.
Do we know that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's.
We haven't heard of it, but that doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Under these circumstances, it's totally different because these are not like long-time state attorneys that had a track record and they were really bad. Andrew Warren and Monique Worrell are new. These are new people with new ideas that do not jive, quite frankly, with corporate special interests. And when you want to get the most powerful job in the world, knowing full well what it takes to get it and who is basically in control of Sands operations.
We need to reach out to Anna Eskamani and figure out if they're doing anything on the ground in terms of
it seems like they
because this is absurd.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.